A huge fire in the Spanish city of Valencia has completely engulfed 2 blocks of flats tonight, leaving people trapped on balconies.
The Valencia Apartment Fire disaster of 2024, a preventable tragedy. Welcome back to Horror Funk Town, where we delve into the darkest chapters of real-life horror. Today, we're unraveling the terrifying tale of the Valencia Apartment Fire of 2024, a disaster that could have been avoided, but instead claimed 10 lives, leaving a scar on the city that will never heal. Did you know that Valencia is always a bit warm, especially on February? Oh wait, that's a bad joke, isn't it? Let's get started. On the evening of the 22nd of February 2024, the tranquil skyline of Valencia was shattered by a massive plume of black smoke. The luxury Valencia towers, a symbol of modern living, were engulfed in a catastrophic fire that would soon be recognized as one of the worst urban disasters in recent memory. The fire started in apartment 86 on the 7th floor, where a leaking refrigerator sparked the initial blaze. The highly flammable coolant used in the appliance ignited, setting off a chain of events that would prove fatal. Causes and contributing factors. The Valencia towers were constructed during the Spanish real estate boom of the early 2000s. While they boasted luxury finishes and modern aesthetics, they were built just before stricter fire safety regulations were implemented. This meant the towers were equipped with outdated fire safety features, including inadequate escape routes, lack of sprinklers, and combustible materials. The building's exterior was clad in aluminum composite panels with a polyethylene PE core, a material known for its extreme flammability. This type of cladding was the same as that used in the Grenfell Tower disaster in London, which killed 72 people in 2017. Despite being banned in many countries, these panels were used on the Valencia towers, turning them into a death trap. The cladding acted like a fuse, allowing the fire to race up the building at an alarming speed, fueled by the chimney effect created by the gap between the cladding and the building structure. The fire's rapid spread was exacerbated by 40-mile-per-hour winds that drove the flames from one apartment to the next, trapping residents inside their homes. The building's outdated fire alarms and inadequate evacuation protocols only added to the chaos, leaving many residents with no choice but to jump from their balconies or succumb to the inferno, the human toll. The fire claimed the lives of 10 residents, including 2 newlyweds, an elderly couple, and a 2-week-old baby. Most of the victims were found on the upper floors, where the fire had burned the hottest and fastest. Their escape routes were cut off, and the intense heat, which reached over 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit, made survival impossible. Many of the dead were found huddled together in their apartments, having desperately tried to escape the flames. In total, 15 people were injured, including 7 firefighters who risked their lives to save others. Survivors recounted the horror of watching the fire spread, the screams of those trapped inside, and the helplessness they felt as they watched their homes and loved ones consumed by the flames. Aftermath and investigation. As the fire was finally brought under control, the scale of the devastation became clear. The Valencia towers, once a symbol of modern luxury, were now a smoldering ruin. In the days that followed, investigators began to piece together the causes of the disaster. The use of flammable cladding, combined with the outdated safety features, was immediately identified as a critical factor. The building had passed its last safety inspection in 2008, just before new regulations were put in place. This meant that despite being a clear danger, the building was technically in compliance with the law. The investigation also revealed that the fire could have been contained if proper evacuation procedures had been followed. Many residents were told by firefighters to stay in their apartments, believing they would be safer there. However, The unpredictable spread of the fire meant that these residents were effectively trapped, with no way out as the flame consumed the building around them. The legal fallout from the fire was swift, but ultimately unsatisfying for the victims' families. An initial court ruling found no criminal wrongdoing, declaring the fire an accident. However, public outrage and pressure from the families led to the case being reopened, with a focus on the building's construction and the decisions that led to the use of such dangerous materials. The Valencia fire is a stark reminder of the dangers of cutting corners and ignoring safety warnings. The building's design flaws and the failure to upgrade safety measures turned what could have been a minor incident into a full-blown catastrophe. As the investigation continues, the hope is that this disaster will lead to stricter enforcement of fire safety regulations and prevent such a tragedy from happening again. This horrifying event should serve as a wake-up call to all of us. If you live in a high-rise building, make sure to familiarize yourself with the fire safety protocols and ensure that your building is up to code. Might just save your life, or just don't live in Valencia. Easy. That's all for today's episode of Horror Funktown. If you found this story as chilling as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the world's most terrifying real-life horrors. Until next time, stay safe and stay scared.